A spark plug will tell you more about your engine than any $500 diagnostic scan. And a car is supposed to be something you can fix in your own driveway with a wrench and a free Saturday, and they took that away from you on purpose. The modern car is a sealed box that beeps at you and sends you to the dealer with your wallet open. And that is exactly how they want it. But the old tricks still work on your car, every one of them, if somebody shows you. I'm Earl. 44 years a mechanic in the plant and then in my own shop, and I'm going to hand you 15 things every old mechanic still knows, the tricks, the secrets, the habits that keep a car alive for 30 years, that Detroit and the dealer buried so you'd keep paying them. One of these the oil companies quietly erased from every bottle, and it is killing good engines right now. Another one saves you $400 at the dealer every single time. I'll show you both. And stay to the end for number one, the cheapest of them all, and the one they worked hardest to make you forget. Every secret on this list still works today, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Number 15, read your own spark plugs. Here's a trick that costs nothing and tells you more than the shop's OBD2 diagnostic scanner. Pull one plug after a good drive and look at it. A light tan, almost gray, means your engine is healthy and burning clean. Black and sooty means it's running rich and wasting fuel. Chalky white means it's running lean and far too hot, on its way to a burnt valve. 4 plugs, 2 minutes, no scanner, and you know the truth about your motor for free. They bury the plugs under a plastic cover and tell you they last 100,000 miles so you never look. Look anyway, the engine is still trying to talk to you, and a black plug tells you to check your choke or your air filter before it costs you a tank of gas a week. A white one tells you to stop and find the lean spot before you cook a valve. That plug is the cheapest mechanic you will ever hire. Number 14, set your own ignition. If you run anything with breaker points, what the engineers called a Kettering ignition system, and a whole lot of good old cars still have it, you set that gap yourself with a feeler gauge, and the cover of a paper matchbook works in a pinch on the side of the road, because it's just about the right thickness to get you home. You set the dwell, you set the timing, the car runs. They sealed the modern ignition inside a computer you can't touch and called it an improvement. It is more reliable, that's true. But on the cars that still let you, do it yourself. It costs $1.10, and it's yours to control. Number 13, find a leak with a piece of hose. Keep a 2-foot length of rubber vacuum hose in your toolbox. Hold one end to your ear and move the other end around a running engine like a doctor with a stethoscope. A vacuum leak, a sucking gasket, a ticking lifter, a dry bearing. Each one has its own sound, and you'll find it in under a minute with a piece of hose worth a nickel. The shop hooks your car to a machine and charges you a diagnostic fee to tell you less than your own 2 ears can hear. This still works on every engine ever built. Use it. Run the open end along the base of the carburetor and the intake while it idles, and when the engine note changes, you've found your vacuum leak. Run it near the valve cover, and you'll hear a lifter that's gone bad. No code reader on earth tells you that faster than a nickel's worth of hose and a quiet minute. Number 12. Adjust the valves yourself. On any engine with adjustable valves, you set the valve lash. That's the valve clearance between the rocker and the stem, with a feeler gauge and your own ear, listening for that faint clatter that says one's gone loose. It's an afternoon in your own garage, not a shop bill. Detroit went to hydraulic lifters that adjust themselves, which is a real convenience, but it also took one more thing out of your hands. On the engines that still have it, learn the feel. There's nothing like setting your own valves and hearing a rough engine drop into a smooth idle that you tuned. Number 11. Put the zinc back in your oil. This is the one they erased and never told a soul. For decades, motor oil carried zinc dialkyl dithiophosphate. A mechanic calls it ZDDP, that protects the camshaft and lifters in every flat tappet engine Detroit ever built. Now, a flat tappet camshaft is the older design where the base of the lifter rides directly on the cam lobe. The newer roller camshaft uses a small wheel and doesn't depend on that zinc film the same way. Then the Environmental Protection Agency pushed the oil companies to cut most of the zinc out of oils rated SL, SM, and SN to protect the new catalytic converters. And nobody warned the men running the old small block V8S engines that ran faithfully for 30 years start wiping their cam lobes flat on the new oil, and the owner has no idea why. Here's the fix. If you run a flat tappet engine, and that's nearly every American V8 built before 1985, your 350 small blocks, your 302s, your 318s, add a bottle of ZDDP zinc additive at every change, or run a diesel-rated oil that still carries the old phosphorus levels. $1 saves the whole engine. They won't tell you. I just did. Number 10. Rebuild the carburetor instead of replacing it. A Rochester Quadrajet or a Holly 4-barrel is a thing you can actually understand. When it gums up, you don't throw it out. You buy a rebuild kit for a few dollars, soak the parts clean, set the float, adjust the idle mixture with a screwdriver, and it runs another 10 years. It's an afternoon's work for almost nothing. The dealer's answer is a sealed fuel injection unit, run by a computer that you can't rebuild and replace for hundreds. The new stuff runs cleaner, I'll grant it. But if you've got a carbureted car, keep it, learn it, and never let anyone tell you it's junk. Start simple. Pull the air cleaner, watch the throttle work, and learn the two adjustment screws. The idle speed and the idle mixture. Turn the mixture in until it stumbles, back out until it smooths, and you've just tuned an engine with a screwdriver and your own ear. An Edelbrock or a Holly will run another 20 years on a man who knows those two screws. Number 9. Pack your own wheel bearings. Scoop the grease into your palm and work it through the rollers with your fingers until everyone is packed full. Do it every couple of years, and those bearings last the life of the truck. The new hubs come sealed for life as one unit, which really means sealed until they fail, and then you buy the whole assembly instead of a few cents of grease and an hour of your time. Sealed for life is the most honest lie on the modern car. On anything that still has serviceable bearings, do it yourself and they'll outlive you. Number 8. Give it the Italian tune-up. When an engine goes lazy and carbons up from too much gentle city driving, you don't need a shop. What the engineers call decarbonization, a mechanic just calls a hard run. Take it out on the open highway, drop it down a gear, and run it hard and hot for a good stretch. It burns the carbon right out of the valves and the exhaust and wakes the motor back up, and it costs you a tank of gas. The dealer's version is a fuel system service for a couple $100s. On most older cars, the road still does it better and for free. Number 7. Change the oil yourself, religiously. This is the cheapest secret of them all and the most powerful. Change the oil every 3,000 miles with the right weight for your engine and keep the inside of that motor clean. That one habit is why the Chevy small block, the Ford 300/6, and the Chrysler Slant 6 roll past 300,000 miles. They sell you extended life oil and tell you to wait 15,000 miles, and the engine just happens to start burning oil right when the warranty runs out. Find the right weight on the door sticker, change it every 3,000, and don't let anybody talk you out of it. It isn't glamorous, it just works. And change the filter every time, not every other time. A cheap filter full of grit is doing the opposite of its job. Crawl under there, do it yourself in 20 minutes, and you'll know it was done right, which is more than you can say for the quick lube place that strips your drain plug. Number 6. Don't fall for lifetime transmission fluid. Here's the $400 one. The dealer stamps lifetime fluid on the transmission, and what they mean is the life of the warranty, not the life of your truck. The fluid cooks, turns to varnish, and the transmission burns itself up right on schedule, and you buy a new one for thousands. Do this instead. A simple drain and fill every 30,000 miles and keep the fluid red, not brown. Pull the dipstick and smell it. If it smells burnt, you've already waited too long. $40 every few years is the difference between a transmission that dies at 100,000 and one that runs to 300. Number 5. Adjust your own brakes and clutch. On a car with drum brakes, you set them yourself. Reach a screwdriver through the little slot in the backing plate and click the star wheel until the shoes just kiss the drum. You set the clutch the same way, by feel, until the pedal grabs right. It keeps your own brakes safe for the cost of nothing. The new self-adjusters and sealed systems took even this out of your hands. On anything that still has it, learn it. It's your life riding on those shoes, not the shop's. Number 4, set your own timing. All you need is a timing light and an open-end wrench. Clip the light on a plug wire, shine it on the timing mark spinning on the pulley, and turn the distributor a hair until it lines up. And if you want a little more pep, advance it just a touch. Tuning your own engine by sight and ear is an ordinary skill, and on any car with a distributor, you can still do it in your driveway. They locked the timing inside the computer on the new ones precisely so you couldn't. Take it back where you can. Find the timing marks on the front pulley, dab a little white paint on the right notch so you can see it flash, and pull the vacuum line off the distributor before you set it. Loosen the hold-down bolt just enough to turn the distributor by hand, watch the mark line up under the strobe, and snug it back down. 10 minutes, and your engine starts easier, runs cooler, and pulls harder, for the price of nothing. Number 3, carry the parts that fail. Keep a small box in the trunk, a set of points, a condenser, a spare fan belt, a few fuses, a roll of tape. Every one of them changes on the side of the road with hand tools in 20 minutes, and a breakdown becomes an inconvenience instead of a tow truck and a ruined day. There's almost nothing on a brand new car a man is allowed to fix on the shoulder anymore. On the cars that still let you, carry the spares and stay free. Number 2, make the body last. Rust-proof it. Get under there with undercoating and rust-proofing. Keep the drain holes clear and hose the salt off the underside through the winter. A few dollars of coating and a little attention keeps a body solid for 30 years. And here's the part that'll make you mad. Detroit knows exactly how to make steel last. It was Alfred P. Sloan, the man who built General Motors, who turned planned obsolescence into company policy back in the 1920s. Restyle it every year, build the wear right in, keep them coming back. When a writer named Vance Packard laid the whole scheme out in his book, The Waste Makers, they called him a crank. He was right. So protect your own body panels yourself because nobody up there is going to do it for you. Watch the rocker panels, the wheel wells, the bottoms of the doors, and the cab corners. That's where the rot starts from the inside out. A few dollars of cavity wax sprayed in those traps every couple of years and a quick rinse of the underside after they salt the roads will keep a body solid long after the loan is paid off and they expected you back on the lot. Number 1, take back the belief that you can fix it yourself. Every secret on this list comes down to the one thing they worked hardest to take, the plain confidence that the car is yours, that you can lift the hood, understand what you see, and set it right with your own 2 hands. That belief keeps a car 20, 30 years and keeps your money in your own pocket. So they seal the hood, fill the engine bay with covers and computers and warnings that you'll void the warranty if you touch a thing, and they teach everyone that a car is something only an expert may lay a hand on. Don't believe it. Open the hood, pull a plug, check your fluid, listen to your engine. They didn't lose these skills. They buried them on purpose. Because a man who can fix his own car doesn't come back to the service department. That's the whole game, and now you know it. So do me a favor, tell me down in the comments which one of these your father or your grandfather taught you, and which one you're going to try first. Because the wrench still fits, the hood still opens, and it is never too late to take back your car, and a little of your independence along with it.